Hi there, my name is Aaron, and welcome to the Call to Cinema. If you haven't been here before, well, thank you for coming in, and if you have been, well, welcome back. Anyway, tonight we are talking about, or today, you can tell us today, look how my lighting has to be for this day. We're talking about Kino Releases. Kino Releases has been a company that's been around for a while. This isn't a newer company. Actually, they started as Kino International back in 1977, and in 2009, they merged with Lober to become what we know today now as Kino Releases. A lot of people, when they think about and they look at their pictures, they're thought of in the same way with the choice of what they do in more of a Criterion style. Uh, Basically, in these style pictures that they chose, a lot of, if you got into silent films back in the day, if you're watching like a silent film or an early release, or maybe some of the kind of like the more I won't say mainstream, but the kind of different like international releases as well. Kino Lobos was the company that did a lot of that stuff. So I'm not just going to show some of my favorite Kino Lobos. Hey there, William, welcome, man. Releases, but William now has the channel. So if you're not subscribed to it, subscribe to William's channel. I'm pointing at me, but I'm going to go over here. Oh, the whole mirror thing, right? Hey there, Vince. Welcome, man. It's good to see you back. So what we're going to do today is we're going to look at Kino Releases. I'm going to spotlight some of their box set releases and a couple of the other companies that they do as well, because they do have sub-labels. And as you know, in the world of collecting, sub-labels are king. Hey, Disconnected, welcome back, man. And welcome, Dave. Disconnected has an amazing channel that has been growing really, really rapidly. So when you get on Facebook and people say recommend a channel, Disconnected's channel gets recommended a lot. Mine doesn't. That's okay. Okay. Hey Joe, welcome, man. No, but he's doing amazing work, man. There's a reason I've had him on channel. Flicking Waves, thank you so much for coming back. And I want to thank everybody over the last a little while that's been like supporting the channel, whether you've been watching, you're a part of my Patreon, you're a donator, you're a super chatter, you click the thumbs up, all of that helps. So as always, like, share, subscribe, and all that YouTube jazzy fancy stuff. And I don't know who bought it, but you are awesome, Disconnected, and there's a reason your channel's getting. It's not just like randomly. It's because of the stuff you're doing, and your stuff doing is great. There's the thing that I wanted to talk about when it comes to this. I want to say one thing before I go any further. Some my Futures Franco shirt ends in January. I was going to end in December, but I let it stay on for a little bit longer. I actually sold a Franco shirt, and well, you know what that means, guys. As soon as I sold a Franco shirt, that means I got to prepare for a Just Franco video. So there is a Just Franco video coming up, but that's probably going to be on the Crimson Call channel, because let's be honest, guys, we're talking Just Franco. That's a NSFY video. All right, let's start here with some of my favorite releases from Kino Releases. There's some regular releases. There's some Blu-ray. There's a couple of DVDs here because I started collecting them in DVD format initially. That because my local every HMV was closing down, and we were grabbing up as much stuff as we possibly could. So you're going to see a wide range of styles. This is one of the most eclectic labels out there. So when I say you're going to see like a bunch of stuff, I really mean it. You're going to see a bunch of different unique titles. So if you're a horror fan, oh man, you're in for it. If you're an action fan, if you're like erotica, if you're like classic cinema, if you're just like uniquely different, like Westerns, Kino Releases literally has it all. Hey there, stranger. Welcome, man. Arrange your movies. I did that the other day. I decided at 4 o'clock in the morning that it would be a great idea for me to take a movie shelf, bring it upstairs, put it next to my other movie shelf that I had upstairs in my review room, and be fantastic. Except when I brought the other shelf, my cousin Raj noticed that the shelf looked to be a little wobbly. So when I got upstairs to put the stuff on it, and when I brought the other shelf in at 4 o'clock in the morning, I started to realize it's not just a little wobbly now, it's slanting. And so I take every movie out of that, fix that, bring a new shelf up. Anyway, it was like 6 o'clock in the morning. I had to work the next day. So what a day. Anyway, let's look at some of the Kino Releases releases. Don't worry, there will be some box sets here. There'll be some stuff from their partner labels as well. Well, their sub labels. We have Planet of the Vampire. So if you are a Mario Bava fan, I don't have Straight Talk, so I don't know. I thought I had him. Did Mill Creek put that as a double feature one point? But Plan the Vampires is a really, really good Mara Bava film. It is filled with color, and oh my God, look at their outfits. Just look for a second. See this? See these outfits? Have you seen X-Men? Have you seen X-Men or read X-Men by Grant Morrison? Their outfits are so much like the X, so much like the X-Men outfits. They're kind of a cool black leather type of thing going on. And followed up with an action movie, which is actually a sequel or a prequel. I'm not quite sure because it was initially the first film. Invasion USA was a film starring Chuck Norris. The sequel to the film, or prequel, we're going to take it, stars Michael Dudikoff in that Chuck Norris role, Avenging Force. And you know what? As good as Invasion USA is, I'm going to put it out there. This is my hot take for the day. It probably won't be my last hot take, though. This is better. This is a better film. It is bleaker. It's darker, and they do a lot of really cool stuff. You think you know like who's going to live and who's going to die. Normally, when you watch one of these action films, it's pretty standard, pretty generic. You don't in this one, and you say, oh, what a cute little kid. That kid may die. That kid may be a victim. We get like Steve James in this one as well with him, of course. John P. Ryan is in the film. Avenging Force is a really good release. So if you have not seen this one, this is one to say, this is one to start with. Now, I will tell you one thing. Over the last year or so, without getting political, let's just say this Avenging Force became scarily relevant. It became scarily relevant in the last year. All right. Speaking of like some of the earlier releases and some of the best, like when it comes looking at pre-codes stuff, Serial at Midnight did a pre-code one, so good, so good. I got to get the Spellbinder release, Boba Fett. That's such a sexy looking release too. The girl on the cover, and I used to own that movie, like on VHS. But Bela Lugosi in White Zombie. White Zombie is an incredibly well done film. I love this movie, and I love the specific release of White Zombie. There's a couple releases like going out and about when it comes to White Zombie, but this by far and large is 100% my favorite release. There's been like kind of like battles back and forth on the best release of White Zombie, but this one includes both the restored edition and a raw, unenhanced edition of the film as well. It was Kelly Preston. Yeah, I think I'm right. Let me know if I'm not right. It's Kelly Preston. But one of my favorite 80s movies of all time, and it screams 80s, because I grew up reading a lot of reading everything. But one of the things that I loved to read was Mickey Spillane. I love the Mike Hammer books. And oh man, did they get Mike Hammer 100% correct in this one. Now, this is a cool like action detective film. It's so good. Armand Assante gets to play the titular role of Mike Hammer. We get Barbara Carrera in this one as well. Alan King, Lauren Landon, for you Maniac Cop fans out there, she has a really significant role in this film. We get Jeffrey Lewis was a fantastic character actor. Unfortunately, he's passed on, as is the late Paul Sorvino. Paul Sorvino's passed on, right?
Who?
Paul Sorvino passed away, right? A few years back. There is a commentary on here with Nathaniel Thompson, and this here. This is one of my favorites.
Oh, no, still alive.
He's still alive? Okay, well, I almost killed Paul Sorvino. I feel so sad. They do some great releases. I mean, I used to go to Arrow for my Kino releases, for my Maro Bab releases, because they'd have both versions, and I wouldn't have to buy two versions of the film. But when it comes to Planet of the Vampires, I definitely grab Planet of the Vampires from them, because it's a really, really great stuff. But this here, fantastic. Hey there, Josephine. Fantastic film. And definitely it's in no way, I was going to say it's not politically correct or not PC, but it's Mickey Spillane. So there you go. Your grandpa went to school with Paul Sorvino. Oh, man, that's cool. He's such an amazing actor. Who am I thinking of that passed away? Probably the guy from Sopranos. That's what I was probably thinking about. Next up, we have Cotton Comes to Harlem. This is not just a really good, like, what would say black exploitation era film. This is a really good film. It's extremely well put together, extremely well written, fantastically scored, and I love this here artwork for the film. We got so many good actors in here. We got Godfrey Cambridge. We have Kelvin Lockhart. We've got Red Fox. It's the great Red Fox is in this one here as well. And this is directed by, and I think did he write it as well? I'm pretty sure he did some of the writing on it by Ozzie Davis. So we got a great actor that actually wrote and directed this film, and it really shows. This is a showcase of a film, and if you have never seen it, because the title, but Cotton Comes to Harlem is a really fantastically well done film. As you can see, we're a couple in, and you're seeing a little bit of everything here when it comes to releases. Highway to Hell. Is that Cotton Comes to Harlem AIP? It's MGM actually. But this here is Highway to Hell. Again, a fantastic film. This is a horror, action, road comedy. So it's a bunch of everything. This is one of these films, much along the lines of Buckaroo Banzai, that kind of defies classification in the genre that it is. You looking at this, you would think, oh, this is a serious horror film. There's horror aspects to it, but is it a serious horror film? Exactly. Good. We got Ben Stiller in this movie and the rest of his family as well. Both of his parents were in this. His sister's in this film. We have the great Patrick Bergin, like really stealing the show in this movie. A young Chad Lowe we got here. Christy Swanson. Hey there, Twisted Cinema. The original Buffy the Vampire Slayer. Not the better Buffy the Vampire Slayer, but the original. And fantastic actor in the guise of Richard Farnsworth, who has like a small but integral role in this film here. It's a great film. It's basically Chad Lowe is running away with Christy Swanson, and they want to get married. They want to kind of be together, but I think she's underage, like slightly underage. She might be like 17 going on 18. She is 17. But so they're in love. They're going to run away, but unfortunately they decide to go down a back road, which leads her to being kidnapped by the Hell Cop, and he has to go into this strange hell dimension in order to find out exactly how to get her back and meet a lot of really weird, crazy characters along the way. Today, by the way, I'm having peppermint mocha coffee, courtesy of International Flavors. And wow, that sounds like a commercial. International Flavors, sponsor me. There we go. See, I can do like commercially stuff. If there's anybody watching this that that's a sponsor, trust me, I can gladly do it. Blake Edwards production, Peter Sellers in the party. There is a hell of a lot of improvisation in this film, and as you guys know, acting was my deal when I was growing up, and improvisation literally is the key to this channel. AC/DC singing Howard. I don't think they are actually. I really don't think AC/DC is in this one at all. They don't do the music for it, I don't think, for Highway to Hell. Would be awesome if they did. Now, it really shows the genius of Peter Sellers and what he can do. Now, there is a bit of problematicness to the Ronaldo Warrior blend. It'll be like sweat and racism. My favorite Peter Sellers performance? I don't know. Like a lot of people are going to say things like being there, or they'll say, but I really do think that, like, as much as he probably hates it, Inspector Clouseau, he just really took a character that could have been one note and just like kind of fleshed him out and really did a great job with him. But that party is probably one of my favorite Peter Sellers performances. Now, this being said, I got to tell you right off the bat, this is Peter Sellers playing an accident-prone Indian actor. So no going in ahead of this. This is Peter Sellers literally in brownface, which is a shame because I know that's gonna like mark the movie, but in actuality, the film and the set pieces are genius. but I understand people that would not want to like go into that one. So I'll let you know ahead of time. There you go. But it's a personal favorite of mine. But if you don't like it, I get it. It definitely has a Jock to T feel to it. That's a good observation, actually, Sina. It has a very much Jock. So if you're a fan of Jock to T's work, then definitely check that one out. We go right from there to a blaxploitation horror film. The blaxploitation horror film that always gets passed by. We hear of Black Hill. We even hear of Blackenstein. And Blackenstein, not a great movie, by the way. The fact that the producer got murdered, that's what makes that movie famous. Well, you know what's a really good blaxploitation horror film? That a really solid film overall, and that is Sugar Hill. Sugar Hill has a great cast of characters in it, including Robert Corey as a very nefarious villain. We get some really cool supernatural aspects to this film, and the actor, and again, I can't remember his name right now, plays Baron Samedi. Oh my God, is he ever good? He is so good in this film. You think you go into this one, that's my cat. That's Hubert, Mr. Meow Meow, as I call him. But Sugar Hill, a fantastic film, and I recommend it. You go into it and you think, wow, is this a Pam Grier film? Because it has that type of feel to it. It has the type of Pam Grier type of badassness the character does, the actress does. But which one?
Don Petrocali played Sammy.
Don Petrocali.
Collie.
Petrocali plays Sammy. Oh yeah, Don Petrocali. My fact checker in the background. Yeah, see, Ganja and Hess. Ganja and Hess is more known though now, Twisted, because of the remake done by Spike Lee. But Sugar Hill still doesn't get a lot of love. I love me some Ganja and Hess. I have this soundtrack from Howlin' Wolf Records, and yeah, it's a really good soundtrack. If you have not checked out my Sons of Horror video that I did last night, shame on you. No, check it out. It's a really good video. It's around 27 minutes long. Really good. See, look how obnoxious I can get. No, really it is. I like the video. And you get to see a unveiling of a Video Nasty CD soundtrack that was so long coming. It's Richard Einhorn classic. White Lightnings. Now, there was a sequel called Gator, which is good. It's still good. It's still fun. But White Lightning is high above Gator, actually. This is definitely the better of the two films. We get pre-mustache Burt Reynolds in here before he had the power of the stash to go with him. And he plays a guy who is he's a rum runner, and he's in jail for that, actually, when the warden comes in and tells him, no, we're going to let you out of jail because your brother's been killed. We think that the law in the area set your brother up, that he was basically, that there's corruption in the police force down there, and we need you to actually kind of like get in there and kind of help catch the bad guys, weed them out. What's really interesting here, and what's a really kind of poignant scene in the film, is when Burt Reynolds gets out and he goes back to his mother and father. His father actually really does want to acknowledge him because, they're a proud family of they're anti-establishment, the run runners and stuff. So the fact that he's actually working with the authorities to capture even like a crooked, that killed the guy's son. He's still kind of shuns Burt Reynolds. It's a really good film. It has a great cast. We've got Ned Beatty in this one. Bob Hopkins is in this film here. Jennifer Billingsley, of course, and the great Matt Clark. So a lot of fantastic stuff there. Yeah, definitely. Ganja and Hess is definitely more of an art film. That always throws people off. Side note, that's like when people that have been watching Fred Williamson films and stuff, and they go back and watch Sweetback's Badass Song and realize, oh my God, this is not just a blaxploitation film. This is an art film, and it's very much so. So people sometimes get thrown off by that, but hopefully it's a sneaky way to get people into some more of the art style of filmmaking, without them actually having to say that they watched an art film. You have great taste, by the way, for liking Sugar Hill as your favorite blaxploitation, because it's my favorite as well when it comes to blaxploitation, like supernatural cinema. All right, speaking of films that use a lot of improvisation, and has a fantastic cast, has a lot of weirdness to it. It's a movie that would take years upon years to have a sequel. House 77 is definitely more of an art film. And that is 8 Million Ways to Die. The director literally took the money, said he was going to make a movie like Jaws, made House 1977, and he did a sneaky way to do an art film. 8 Million Ways to Die with Jeff Bridges and Roseanne Arquette, but not just Jeff Bridges and Roseanne Arquette. No, this is a fantastic film. We got Andy Garcia in this movie. We have the Alexandra Paul in this film. This is directed by Hal Ashby. It's his final film credit, actually. He was not like really pleased with the I guess with the cut of the film, but there's some really neat stuff that's done here. Andy Garcia and Jeff Bridges would kind of would go about they would like kind of push each other to really just do improv for their scenes, and you can really tell because it seems slightly off and slightly weird, but slightly more real than the scripted words. And that's one of the good things that you can do when improv is done well. When you got like masters of the craft, and Jeff Bridges and Andy Garcia are definitely masters of the acting craft. What is it? Okay. Okay. This is No Retreat, No Surrender. Now, for a while, after Jean-Claude Van Damme became famous, this was considered, Jean-Claude Van Damme in No Retreat, No Surrender. He's not. He's in it, but he's got a small part. He's a bad guy that the good guy, Kurt McKinney, has to fight. This is how different. It's, in a way, this is a coming-of-age film, a Karate Kid clone, and a Bruceploitation film. And maybe, just maybe, a story that actually sneaks mental health issues in the film as well. So basically, Kurt McKinney plays a guy that comes to comes to a new town, and he gets, just like in Karate Kid, there's guys that kind of like pick on him. So it ends up with him. He ends up fighting Jean-Claude Van Damme at the end of the film. But he's trained by the ghost of Bruce Lee. Like, he's a huge Bruce Lee fan, and he's trained by the ghost of Bruce Lee. And you could actually kind of say that if they left it at that, and they said, okay, he's just trained by the ghost of Bruce Lee, it's kind of a neat little gimmicky thing that you can do. But they don't stop there, because there's a sequence where like the bags are coming down, like the bags that he's using, like they're coming down. He's doing his his kung fu and something I can't do, and his friend that's what looks in the window, and he sees no one there. Like we're not saying like he doesn't see the ghost of Bruce Lee. He doesn't see anything unusual. Now you can say, hey, Master Cats, welcome, man. Hey, happy birthday to your son. So tell your son I said happy birthday. Hopefully you bought him some cool stuff, man. Hopefully you got something cool. I'm sure you did. You seem like the cool gift-giving dude. But yeah, so you get there and you're seeing him, and he's doing all his martial arts training, but there's no ghost of Bruce Lee in the sequence. So it looks disturbing. Like this kid is maybe lost it a bit, and he sees the ghost of Bruce Lee there, but we see it from the eyes of somebody that ain't seeing the ghost of Bruce Lee. So it takes a different aspect to the film that I really didn't pick up until the second watching, actually. Speaking of cool blaxploitation stuff that doesn't get talked about enough, Truck Turner, Isaac Hayes. Isaac Hayes is probably, unfortunately, best known as Chef, and more modern, from South Park. Or if you're a blaxploitation fan, he's the guy that sang Shaft. But he is also the guy that had his own blaxploitation film, Truck Turner. And I so wish there would have follow up this one. There never was. But man, there should have been. This is such a good character. It's got a good soundtrack. Isaac Hayes is there, directed by Jonathan Kaplan. Good film. Really, really like this. And if you've never seen it, definitely check it out, because it's a really excellent title. Let's follow this up with something that they were really good at doing. And when nobody else was doing it, Kino Lorber went out and they put out serials. So you get like kind of like VCI, will put out the occasional serial and stuff like that. But Kino Lorber really goes above and beyond when it comes to putting out serialized work. Here's one mastercast that your son could check out, by the way. The Adventures of Captain Marvel. So I think it's 12 episodes for the serial. What's really good about this, it's amazing. Now, this is not the Captain Marvel. This is not the Shazam character that you see now. It's the same character, but oh my God, is he different. Like, for instance, in the first episode of this, there's some bad guys. So after he becomes Shazam, he gleefully throws a bad guy off of a cliff, picks up a kind of a Gatling gun, and starts mowing down the bad guys in a hail of bullets. He's the good guy, by the way, guys. He's the good guy. But what's really, really good about this is there is a audio commentary on every single chapter of this one here. And it's not the same person doing audio commentaries. We have different people. So we got people like Constance Nazar, Jerry Beck. We have Leonard Maltin, Tom Weaver, J.D. Whitney. There's a ton of different audio commentaries. And they don't always take on the same tone. So they could be talking about like something completely different, but it always kind of fits in with the film, or even sometimes someplace even the comic book as well. So Adventures Captain Marvel, really, really great one. And one of the great series of all time. Tom Tyler, of course, is the GOAT. And yeah, you don't get much better than that. That's Spider-Man. Oh, that's Dev. What's it? Dev something. It's a really evil Spider-Man. Yes. Master Chaos has a movie. It's in theater. Limited time. And it's going to be available on VOD on January the 11th. La Llorona. And it has the incredibly amazing. It has Machete in it. It does. It really does. And not just in it. Like, literally as a star. So Mr. Danny Trejo himself is one of the stars of this one here. Dev Adam 3, I think is what it's called. So if you have not checked it out, and I'm waiting to January 11th because I'm going to check it out as well because there's no theater showing it, unfortunately, in my area. I'm super proud of Master Chaos, and I really like really, really glad that I know a guy that's I have ins in the industry now. Jamie Blank's Master Chaos. There you go. I'm starting to get some ins there. Before you know it, guys, that's it. I'll be like a background in in the film sometime. Master Chaos is gonna make that thing. 100% check that out. You're thinking of the Turkish one. The Italian Spider-Man, 35 minutes short. Actually, I may not have seen that to cinema, so I will check that out. Okay, so this was sent to me by DJ Nubis and DJ Nico, and this is Emmanuel. I love this film. I love the Emmanuel series, the original series of Emmanuel. Actually, I like the Black Manuel one as well. Do I like Dean Cain? Not really. I like the show Lois and Clark, but in real life, a bit of a dick. But this is a fantastic film done by, of course, by Jess Jackin, and there's some great features on here as well. Jaws of Emmanuel, talking about Emmanuel is on here. Trailers from Emmanuel 1, 2, and Goodbye Emmanuel, which is the third film, the last one for Sylvia Christel before somebody else takes over. Did I say Christel? Sylvia Christel. But love this. It's an iconic cover art, and we followed up with the second one. I do like the second one just as much, if not just a bit more, to be honest with you. These are really well done films, and people forget exactly how much work that were put into these. These are not just like your regular softcore style films. They do some great stuff. And there's some fantastic acting in this. It's definitely of its time, but it was meant to be kind of, in a weird way, it's kind of almost, at the time, it was like I guess maybe, I don't like to use the word feminist, but because some people take that as a bad thing. But yeah, I guess a sexual empowerment film. And it was very, very influential in of its day. All right. David Hess, who many of us know from things like Last House on the Left. He's the guy from from movies like House on the Edge of the Park, which is a fantastic little film. But he's also director. He also directed a film as well. And that is this one right here. He did, hey there, Toko, To All a Good Night. It's a kind of a Christmas horror film. Hence the To All a Good Night. It stars Jennifer Runyon, who would later go on to, I think, retire from acting and marry the son of Roger Corman. So, and if you're an 80s person, you know Jennifer Runyon is because you've seen her either in Charles in Charge or movies like Up the River or Up the Creek, or, you know, or just being the really cute girl at the beginning of Ghostbusters who, when Bill Murray is doing the kind of the psychic test to see if they're psychic or not, there's one guy that's actually psychic and getting all the questions wrong. And Bill Murray is saying, oh, yeah, no, wrong, getting all the questions right. And Bill Murray is saying he's wrong. And there is Jennifer Runyon, who is getting absolutely every single one of them wrong. And he's saying, oh, that's right. It's amazing. You know, basically. Bill Murray's character being a bit of a horn dog. All right, so we have the good, the bad, and the ugly. Of course, it is a classic, Sergio Leone. My second favorite Sergio Corbucci would be my favorite. But a classic Emmanuel is an erotic thriller. Not really, because there's no thriller aspect to it. As an erotic film, yes. Maybe it's erotic drama. That's like when you look at things like Showgirls, right? Like Showgirls is not an erotic thriller. Showgirls is definitely has eroticism in it, very blatantly, but it wouldn't be considered like an erotic thriller. It would be like, you know, just I guess an erotic drama. So we got a great one here. We got Lee Van Cleef, Eli Wallach. We have a guy named Clint Eastwood. He's in it too. But Lee Van Cleef, I'm sorry, like Clint Eastwood, amazing, but Lee Van Cleef, man, he's the king. He really is. Such a good film. Great stuff on here. We got like 3 separate other commentaries with Tim Lucas, with Sir Christopher Frayling, and with Richard Sheckle. We got Leone's West documentary, Leone featurette. It's super cool. It's a 2-disc edition, by the way. And it's now probably in Morocco, I think. But definitely got to check that out. Is that Morocco or is that upstairs? A more recent release from them and put together with the Film Archive, bless you, is Dynasty. And this doesn't have Blake Carrington and Alexis Colby in it, but this is is that the first time it came out on Blu-ray? I don't know if I was aware of that, actually. So thanks a lot. This is a really cool, like, if you like the kind of the Shaw Brothers style films, like the martial arts of the day, doing it. Yes, I do. Some if it has the word Fritz, if it has the word feeling on it, feeling de pate, Josephine, then I own a lot of that. Actually, I'm very interested in seeing what they do with the new like Leatherface film. But this is really cool. The 3D in this is really good. So it gives you 2 forms of 3D. So Film Archive back in the day would only do real 3D. That's the best. I've got TV upstairs that runs real 3D. It's a 3D television set. But this was the first release that Film Archives put out, as far as I know, as I'm aware, that actually had Anogaf 3D as well. So if you didn't have a 3D television, you didn't have the PlayStation VR or an Oculus Rift, you needed these little things to watch 3D. But if it's just real 3D, it doesn't matter. You can't watch them with these glasses anyway. You need like a 3D capable television set or a PS or a VR system that you can run 3D on. But this one here gave you the option for the first time of having not just 3D with the amazing 3D, but also gave you the Anogaf 3D as well. And it didn't stop there either. Not only did they give you the 3D that, but they also gave you House of Terror, which is a restored 1953 complete 3D comic book. The whole thing. You can actually read through the entire comic book on here. There are 2 stereo slideshow productions. We get Sold on Stereo commercial 3D in the 1950s, and inside a mid-century department store, which is a 3D featurette, but which is utterly fascinating. And I love the Halloween films. Do not knock the Halloween films. You don't have to like them. Don't knock them. Go Away, I Like You Too Much is a really, really good like music video that I was unaware of until I watched it on here. And then I watched it over and over again. Oh, no, Neon Genesis Evangelion. I would love to have that actually. This is a great release, and I definitely need highlighting it. Western, another Western, but this one's different. Actually, this was definitely a bit of a lower budget one done back in the day, but a really good one. We got here Shootout with the great Gregory Peck. So Gregory Peck is insanely good. And you saw it on TV, yeah. Dynasty, trust me, Twist Cinema, pick it up. Married to the Mob, that's definitely one I do have to get. I got a DVD of that one though. So depends on the features, like on an upgrade. Because I bought like this Michelle Pfeiffer like box set. It didn't actually. No, I got to stop for a second because I got to. So there was a film critic a while back that, when talking about Halloween Kills, said things like, "Well, the original Halloween lifted stuff from Halloween, from Texas Chainsaw Massacre, the slasher film." So Texas Chainsaw Massacre 1974 is a near perfect film in its inception. Do you know what it's not? And it is never going to be? It's never going to be a slasher film. There's no way that Texas Chainsaw Massacre either fits the slasher film or fits the criteria of what like a slasher film should be. So Texas Chainsaw Massacre, excellent film. Has nothing to do with Halloween. It's not a slasher film. Halloween took things from Black Christmas and giallo films of its day. But yeah, there's a that critic embarrassed himself that day, and I just want to get that out of the way. Yeah, Shootout, the gunman, Gregory Peck, Criterion. I do not own that. In no way is that a slasher film. It's not even a body count film. It's not the body count film. It's not a slasher film. It's a thriller. Texas Chainsaw Massacre is a thriller with a serious social commentary in it. But there's no slasher in Texas Chainsaw Massacre. There is no slashing in any way done. Psycho, which I still to this day says, is borders on being a slasher. It's not. But yeah, Shootout, fantastic film. I got distracted, guys. That's something you just caught on something that I feel very passionate about, because I remember when that review came out, and I was like, that guy kind of sucks. And I take this seriously. Like, I'm no expert, but I know enough to call bullshit on things. And on that, I call bullshit. This surprised me. I remember seeing this in my video store and going to pick it up for the obvious reasons. Let's not lie. I'm a red-blooded male, without even reading anything about it. That I was very much very interested in this in the film, but I didn't pick it up. It was always rented, or I was always kind of interested in getting it, or I think I got it once and then ended up going to a party, didn't end up getting to watch the film. So finally, there is no way in hell. just to let you know, it's not something I'm going to bend on. It's more of a respectfully disagree, as in like when the article was written too, I was very strong against it. The saw does a lot of things, but if you got a saw that slashes, your saw doesn't work. Your saw is cutting deep through the skin. It's not a slasher film. It's nothing like a slasher film. It has none of the tropes of a slasher film. This is actually a really good film, surprisingly good. Basically, it's about this woman who is attacked, and she ends up creating an alternate identity for herself to seemingly at first to get away from her life, or kind of her humdrum home life. So she's leading two lives at the same time, and to get revenge. It's very different, very unique. It's very much a different style of a film. That's actually I got to get that out that comment. The sad thing, Josephine, is that guy was like a guy that was working for like a big publication for a long time, and you really gotta. Yeah, it's a really, really, really good film. It surprised me. The ending of it surprised the hell out of me. It's possible that the psychedelic style of Texas Chainsaw Massacre invalidates the Giallo influence of what Halloween Friday the 13th did later. No. Not even a hot take, dude. Just no. Watch it again. Like going blind. Definitely different. Definitely a different film, and went in a different way, and especially the ending than I thought it was going to go. Really, really enjoyed that. I never spoiled the endings. Speaking of great films, Brian Brown and Brian Dennehy come together to make FX. FX is a really good film. The sequel's actually underrated as well. Loved FX. Loved this one. Actually, loved the TV series. Ran for 2 seasons. Was a Canadian series. Had an Australian actor. Can't remember his name right now, but I remember he was in like I'm not sure if it was like another one of the soap opera shows that I watched back in the day. Those nighttime shows. But FX is so cool. You have Brian Brown as FX. A special effects guy who is hired to what's the word again? Hired by the supposedly the Justice Department to set up this fake murder, right?
Fake real life mob killing.
Yeah, but in actuality, a murder does happen, and guess who gets set up for it? Yep, it's such a good film. There's so many great little things in there and twists and turns. And definitely check it out. Now we got some of the. I'll do this one before I just do that. It's cheesy. It's crazy. It's Astro Zombies. It's Ted B. Michael's best film, in my opinion. By far and large, this is his best film. And is it a competent film? Nope, not much. Is the lead actor is completely like drunk throughout the entire film? Yes, he is. He would die shortly after. Do we have like Tura Satana in this one? Yes, we do. It is so cool. It is so inept, but it is so watchable. And let me put it to you like this way. This is fantastic. This also has a Riff Tracks edition. Watch this without the Riff Tracks edition. Because this is good. Do I like the Texas Chainsaw Massacre sequels because they're more actually they did try to lean into it, but not so much. Part 2 is comedy, like out and out comedy. Part 3 would definitely kind of lean more into that, but the sequels really just tried to do stuff. I'm going to say is the difference here is don't come at me, look, because this is not the time. There are zombies of a sort in here, but no, this actually isn't a real zombie film. So there you go. It's actually kind of Tourist Santana lived in his harem castle, his castle, which is amazing. The zombie in this movie, by the way, is what's it? It's got a light thing on it, so basically, the zombies like the device gets knocked off the zombie. So he literally has to take like a flashlight or something, put it up to his head so that he can keep running till he gets back to the mad scientist. It's hilarious. It's really good. And the Riff Tracks is actually really, really good rate as well. So they put a few of these, the Kino Classics Library of Congress editions. Hey there, Joe. Welcome. So we got Betty Davis on here and Leslie Howard. Of Human Bondage was an early one for me when it came to watching like the Betty Davis stuff. And this is very early Betty Davis, actually. Look how young Betty Davis is in this film. Leslie Howard is one of those guys that, from Gone with the Wind. Uh, I like him, but I always found that I could never get when I was watching Gone with the Wind why Scarlett would be enamored with Leslie Howard's character. He's a bit of a bore, actually. And he has that, he's a great actor, but he has a stiffness to him that I guess I have to look back on. Like, haven't read a lot on Leslie Howard. I'm going to say, like, this guy maybe a bit of a stage actor back in the day, but it's different, and it's a really good film. She's anyway, I love the film. Oh, trust me, I'm not in a handful of people. I'm in the majority. You do not know the crap that like author went through after he made that comment. It's a thriller, man. Like I stated early on, it's a thriller. It's a thriller with strong like overtones of strong like satire. There's a lot of comedy like that's not seen in like Texas Chainsaw Massacre. That's the reason he went more blatant with the comedy in Texas Chainsaw Massacre too. It's because people did not get the humor in the first film. And this is a terrifying film, but he meant it to be more humorous. 52 Pickup. Roy Schreider and Anne Margaret. This is one of my favorite Roy Schreider films. Right up there, Jazz. I'm going to put up there. Hot take. I love this film. It's a really cool film. And what makes this better is the villains are so damn good. We get the amazing John Glover. Every performance he does is incredible. Lionel Luthor himself for you Smallville fans. And, of course, Clarence Williams III plays an insane character in this one. And we have Vanity. And if you've watched any adult films, and hopefully you have, then you'll notice some of the actors in the background playing smaller roles are actually adult cinema actors, including Mr. Jamie Gillis himself. And I think Ginger Lynn was in this one as well. Don't quote me on that, but I kind of think she was. Petrified Forest is a really good title, a really good film, actually. So I would agree on that one, Vince. But excellent movie. Arrow put out one edition of this one where there's a extra feature on there where you actually have a feature that goes through every adult actor that's in the film. Now, they're not doing adult scenes like they're like a shopkeep or background person or something like that. See, I don't think it's sleazy. I don't find this one sleazy. Not at all. I mean, it's good. It really gets that underbelly of that era and that time. Because this is Elmer Leonard, and it's very much like an Elmer Leonard picture. So if anybody's read any Elmer Leonard's work or seen some of the other films, or even TV shows inspired by his work, you get that. It's the feel. All right, before I get to the spotlight edition of this video, Steel Justice. This is the most 80s action film you're ever going to see. Oh my God, this is insanely 80s. In this movie, we have a guy that normally plays bad guys. Yes, that is the guy that played the bad guy from Karate Kid. But in this one, he's the titular name, Steel. We got Martin Cove, of course, as mentioned before, Celia Ward, Ronnie Cox, Bernie Casey, Joseph Campanella, and Jan Gann Boyd in here as well. This is a weird ass film. It starts off. It starts off with him trying to save some people, and anyway, so the bad guy, in order to catch him, I gotta say this because it's insane every time. He goes in this underground lair, but he has to run because the bad guy has tied a grenade to a mouse's back. And that's the thing of the film. That's the opening of the film, by the way. There's a full out 80s style music video right in the middle of the film. It's insane. This is a fantastic film. It is so weird. You're gonna love it. And oh my God, so loving those. So before I get into some of the box set stuff there, that I want to mention a couple of the sub-labels that are done from Kino Lorber. We got one here, which is Redemption, which is a lot of horror and a lot of international horror as well. So this is the Pete Walker Collection Volume 2. I'd already bought in every one of them. He's really good in the movie, actually. He's actually solid. He's a very solid actor. He's a very good actor. So this is volume 2. We got like The Flesh and Blood Show, Frightmare, which is an amazing film, House of Mortal Sin, which is great, Home Before Midnight, and then 2 films that weren't like horror films that he did called The Big Switch and Man of Violence. They're all on here. And there's like features on here. There's like a 3D sequence on here with stereoscope 3D format, so you need analog glasses for it. There's interviews with Pete Walker. There's audio commentaries on here as well. Just a lot of really great stuff. Have a great evening there, Flicker. I'm getting into the box set. You're going out just as I'm getting to the box sets, but okay. Have a great evening. Check out this part afterwards to see the box set stuff. You also do more of, I guess, an erotic style of one, and it's called Jezebel. This is called Jezebel line. And this is Schoolgirl Hitchhikers. So done by Jean Rollin. Jean Rollin, of course, is known for his artsy, like vampire erotica style films that he does. But this is one they did. It's it's not a horror one. But it's a really cool little film. And if you've never checked it out, definitely worth checking out. Now, before we hit the box sets, let's hit some of their special editions, because they do special editions as well. They do things with like slip covers and with booklets and all that. So dive in this. This is one of the early good ones that they did. Rawhead Rex. Oh my God! Look at this. Look at this cover. Look how amazing this looks. This is gorgeous artwork. This is a really great film. Now, this is the film that made like Clive Barker start making horror, like directing, because he didn't like the way the film came out. Now, you got a monster pissing on a corrupt Catholic priest in this film and a kid being taken away. It's just insane. It's insanity. But there's no way you'd ever watch this film and think anything other than like, oh my God, this is a total Clive Barker film. Even though Clive Barker like denounces it. I'm sorry, Clive Barker. This is from reading your work, your books. This may not be like the Rawhead Rex as you saw it, but does it have a feel of Clive Barker? Oh my God, does it ever? But it's not just that. You open it up, you get like extra artwork right here. There's a booklet here with the these have a uniform like case to them, uniform disc to them, and we have the original Rawhead Rex. If you ever got on VHS, that was the case that you had on the inside. So they just do an amazing amount of stuff. Some great stuff. And feature-wise on here, it's packed. We got audio commentary with the director. We got moderated by Stephen Thrower. Who doesn't love Stephen Thrower? We have like interview with some of the actors on the film, with the FX like team. We got interview with the cameraman. Interview with Stephen Arbisset, of course, the guy that, of course, he's a famous like comic author, comic like artist, and a co-creator of John Constantine. There you go. Put it right there. There's a booklet essay on here by Kat freaking Ellinger. And of course, there's a 5.1 surround audio and original theatrical trailer. We have Trilogy of Terror. There's a second one, which I don't have. I really do need to get this one. Trilogy of Terror with Karen Black in all 3 stories. And it is so good. Such great stuff. It definitely has a Guire character feel. I would say we have, again, a bunch of features on here as well, like a commentary by Richard Harlan Smith. We got a new interview by Bob Colbert, audio interview with Karen Black. Unfortunately, he's passed on now. William F. Nolan, Richard Matheson, Tara Scrub. Some of these were were kind of like lifted over from like a previous release, but there are new stuff on here. We got a booklet as well with this. It's a really cool release. And if you've never seen this one, it's really fun, actually. It's a really fun film. I actually kind of like the second one a bit better, to be honest with you. But I know, sacrilege, right? But Lizette Anthony did a good job in Trilogy of Terror 2. Classic. Night Stalker. Really, really cool little film. Love this film. Darren McGavin is incredible in this movie. He plays the character of Carol Kolchak so well. There's new interviews, new audio commentaries, just a whole bunch of work on here. John Llewellyn Moxie did this one, and of course produced by Dan Curtis. And Dan Curtis, I feel Dan Curtis really wanted to direct this. It's got there's a feel. I mean, let's say the interview, you understand what I mean. But such a good release. Again, we got it opens up with another like booklet in here as well. There's the infamous vampire. If you've got the TV, the box set of the Night Stalker, the complete series that came out recently from Kino Releases, Blu-ray, here's fantastic. And if you don't, and you have the Night Stalker, the movie, and you're wondering, do you want to get the box set? The box set has an episode called The Vampire, which is actually a sequel to the Night Stalker film. But the actual movie, like the sequel to the Night Stalker film, is a film that I think has been underrated over the years, and that is The Knight Strangler. I think this is just as good, in all honesty, as Night Stalker itself. It's very different. It has some really unique. There's a underground like area. Man, I'm gonna forget now. Maybe it's in the booklet. Let's find out. Because I remember watching this, and this has the guy from the guy that plays what's his name? Where's he at? Not Darren McGavin, but no, it's literally not listed. Are you serious? The guy from Bionic Man. But this is a gorgeous, gorgeous film. It is extremely well done, especially for TV film. This is an extremely gorgeous film. It's extremely well shot. And we get Simon Oakland back in this one here as well. Absolutely adore this film. I'm looking for something specific on here because I know that they shot this one like in this. That's not. Well, how can you not list that? Anyway, shot somewhere really, really cool. Hey, Matty, welcome, man. Oh, Darren McGavin. I love me some Darren McGavin. Yes, she does. She always says she was never in a horror film. And, if she wants to take it like that and say, okay, I'm not in a horror film, I'm in like a supernatural thriller or thriller with... It's understandable. At the end of the day, just because we like something doesn't always mean that the people that are in the things that we like are going to feel the same way about it. Sometimes a job is just a job. Just ask Mrs. Voorhees. Well, no, unfortunately, she's passed on it, but Betsy Palmer, who said, I'll make this movie because Underground Seattle. Thank you, Vince. That's what I was trying to remember. I was trying to remember the city. Underground Seattle. So you really do get to see Underground Seattle in it. It was driving me crazy. Oh my God, Vince, thank you so much. OSS 117. See, this really is here. This box set. This is a box set that not enough people have. This is an excellent, excellent box set. We got like 5 films on here, and we have like 3 different actors that play the titular OSS character on here. So we have Kieran Matthews, of course, doing the first 2. Then we have Frederick Stafford following up with the second 2. And the last one, we get John Gavin. What's really interesting with that is that, Dave, it's really worth getting, man. Really worth picking up. If it goes on sale, grab it. Twisted, you do need this OSS. And the thing was that it's ironic because we were up in Ontario at the time, and we had canceled the set because we said, we're in Ontario, we're going to need the extra money. We don't think we're going to be able to afford it. But it had already been charged at the time, and they'd already sent it to us. So we started watching it. So, well, it's paid for now. Watch it. And man, we love it. Great stuff. It starts out with a kind of black and white spy thriller with Kieran Matthews in it. And we go into the second film where it actually goes into color, and it starts to become more of of a James Bondian style. I thought it was still available as a set, Dave. I would have to look into that. I'm very bad when it comes to if something's gone out of print. I'm not somebody that that keeps up on that. So obviously I'm not a flipper. I'm not a person that buys things to sell. I buy things that I like to watch. If I get something, I got like doubles or triples or something, that usually goes that usually either goes to my kids or Raj or my dad or something like that. I don't flip stuff. So I'm never aware. I never keep up on that stuff. I probably should for out of print video, like list or something like that. Make for a good video. But actually, excellent film. One of the neat things is John Gavin was the guy. Of course, he's in Psycho. He's at the beginning of Psycho. He's the boyfriend. Uh, thanks, Future Boy. But he was always kind of on the cusp of playing James Bond. He was always like that backup guy for to be Bond. So if you ever wondered what John Gavin would be like playing the character James Bond, then welcome to OSS 117. What's really neat is it's just so well done. There's so many good actors. This one's second film has Robert Hussein in it. And he's a fantastic French actor. And he plays a villain. He plays a very James Bond-esque villain in the second film. And he is so good in that film. So definitely check this out, guys. It's a really, really great one. Next up is a TV series from back in the day, from the 80s, that only lasted a season. But oh man, did I dig this show. Some of you guys may know this from Mystery Science Theater, where they took a couple of the episodes that were put together and put it on VHS as a film and riffed them on MST3K. But this is a master with Lee Van Cleef. At around this point in Lee Van Cleef's career, he was in a lot of pain. He had a lot of health issues that were going on at the time. Thankfully, The Master was a series where he played a ninja. So the ninja, is obviously in costume. So he was able to not have to do any really taxing scenes and still get a good paycheck and bring his Lee Van Cleef coolness to the role. That has a lot of good actors in this one. Now, guest star, we got a guest star now. Of course, the other star is Timothy Van Patten. We have Sho Kazuji, who definitely was probably fighting himself a lot in the film. He plays the titular evil ninja in this one here. And when I say we have a lot of good guest stars, we have Crystal Bernard, George Lazenby, George Maharis, of course, from West Side Story. We got Dave McCallum, Doug McClure, Bill McKinney, Demi Moore. In this one, Will Smith, Stuart Whitman, ton of people in this one. I don't remember, and I watched this more recently. I have to rewatch it again now just to find out if it ends on a cliffhanger. A lot of these things didn't have huge cliffhanger type endings because this wasn't cliffhangers never really became a thing until the latter era of Dallas. Oh, I did. Yeah, I always. Actually, no. That was a mistake. With title on spine, I didn't actually. I turned it around. I'm OCD, so when I saw that it was like that, I switched it around. So I didn't actually keep that way. That was an error. Exactly. Outsider, Moving Violations, Thursday. Excellent choices, by the way. Phantasmos. Totally need that one. So asked about do we have the animation? My better half is a huge Zapata Freeling fan. This is her jam. This is her favorite. We got some of the Pink Panther ones. Well, I eventually want to get her the box set, the Pink Panther box set with the whole series on it, because she is an enormous fan of this. So this has Inspector Roland and Ratfink and the Aardvark, and of course the Tijuana Frogs, Tijuana Toads. So really, really good done. Inspector is obviously one of the key ones in this set, because that is a 2-disc edition, and it is so well done. There are documentaries on these here. There's audio commentaries. So such well done releases. And you look on the inside, and they do pencil work from art sketches, which I really, really like. Next up is a series that they've been doing, and that is Film Noir: The Dark Side of Cinema. Really, really great stuff for this here. So we got on here Witness the Murder, A Bullet for Joey, Big House USA, Storm Fear, and You Ran All the Way. I love film noir, as you guys know. This is one of my favorite genres of film. I was on Robert Blismo's podcast talking Robert B at the Movies, basically talking about film noir, and that is one of my true loves, true passions, and yeah. When I come to the time, talk to you later, Logan. You have a great day, man. When I start to do, when I'm teaching film classes, film noir is one of the things I'm going to be definitely focusing on. Great releases here. No real features on any of these, if I remember correctly, but just great films with great presentations. Extremely well done. I thought for a second I spilled my coffee, which is not a good thing. I do need to drink. And there, I muted myself so you didn't have to hear me slurping. All right. It's not the only TV set that I have here, though. Probably one of the best things is this right here. The Outer Limits set. They put out the season 1 and season 2 sets of Outer Limits. They're both Blu-ray editions. Feature-wise, look at this. Look at that. Look at the stuff on the special features. There's commentaries on here, like a ton of commentaries and stuff. There's a 40-page booklet by David J. Show. Then they took features, because the second season was long, so they said, what we're going to do in the second season? We're going to just load it up with features, like load it up with alternate cuts of film, of episodes, audio commentaries, TNT promos, interviews, host segments, just the Museum of Television and Radios, OMS Pally, Robert, people talking about Outer Limits, a Project Unlimited audio commentary, a ton of stuff on here. What a great set. If you don't have these Outer Limits sets, definitely pick them up. They are so freaking good. And last but not least, I totally got your name because I'm a huge Takatsu fan, which is really cool, by the way. And I like the picture. Carol Lombard Collection, Volume 2. Specifically, Volume 2. There's some great stuff on here. The Princess Comes Across is really good. Hands Across the Table is excellent. Love Before Breakfast. And Love Before Breakfast had that infamous picture in the day. So this is the cover and the poster for Love Before Breakfast, which has Carol Lombard with a black eye on there. And, it's a black eye that, she's not, this is not a movie, but like an abused girl or anything like that. No, she goes out and gets this black eye kind of accidentally. But this is a really good film. It's gorgeous artwork on there. And there's gorgeous artwork on all this stuff. Princess Comes Across is a great one. Fred McMurray does a great job in this one. And of course, Hands Across the Table, another Fred McMurray film with Carol Lombard. Didn't call you. I did say Logan. Unless I missed something. From New Kamen Rider. Oh, nice. My daughter's a huge Kamen Rider fan. Sort of. I mean, it's better than, I would say that especially I Love Before Breakfast is definitely screwball, maybe a bit of a screwball comedy, maybe a bit better than some screwball comedies that are more well known. If you haven't picked up the Carol Lombard stuff, I really recommend it. They do a whole series from like Audie Murphy to Carol Lombard to a whole ton of actors. So basically what they've done is, remember back in the day when the Warner Brothers had those like sets out, like, Spencer Tracy, like Bogey McCall, or Humphrey Bogart set, or the Earl Flynn set, that type of thing. So they've pretty much taken on the mantle of doing those from back in the day. So they're doing like these here beautiful looking, fantastically well done box sets of different actors, like really focusing on them. All right, I was initially going to go in and do a site overview, but we've gotten at 109, almost 110 minutes, and it's a Saturday. This is my only day off. Now next week, for those that don't know, and this is going to be particularly relevant if you are a part of my Patreon channel, is that I go back to working with weekends off next weekend. So we will soon see the return, the hopefully triumphant return of the live Patreon videos. So you're going to see a lot of NSFY stuff, a lot of different stuff with the tier lists, by the way, is coming back on both channels. So you'll be seeing probably a once a month tier list. I will be doing, eventually I will do another Sense of Horror one as well. So please check those out. And the one thing that I feel very passionate about, I would really hope that some of you guys would check it out, because I'm working really hard on these, and it seems like nobody. Oh, Batman. Okay, I'm Batman. There you go. Nobody seems to be watching them. A few people watch them, but not a lot of people. And I want to do some on the regular channel. I've been doing them onto my Patreon channel, but I have like an aspect of that is called the Cult of Comics. So if you've never looked at, you may not be, if you're not, even if you're not like a comic collector or anything like that, maybe I can entice you. Maybe I can bring you into like in the world of comics. If you like cinema, then in all honesty, you probably should be like into the comics too, because in all honesty, what's a comic really but like storyboards? Storyboards. So if you have not checked it out, please do check it out. It takes me a long time to film a color comics video as opposed to like doing a live video. So if you haven't seen it, watch it, give it a thumbs up, and let me know. I'll be looking for the comments on people that have actually watched those videos, and you will get a check mark in the Cult of Cinema Cool Book when you do. I am Aaron. I want to thank you so much for joining me here today. As always, remember this: it costs nothing to be kind, so be kind to others. It pays forward. It comes back to you. Karma's a thing, man. Be kind to yourself, because you know what? You do deserve that. And as always, sometimes there's another box set. Sometimes there's another movie. And, you never know, because sometimes there's another kick-ass CD soundtrack. So anybody that didn't know that this exists, holy crap. Oh, needless to say, as a Video Nasties guy, yeah, that was a huge thing for me. Thank you for watching. Hope you guys have a wonderful evening. Keep an eye out for an upcoming Cult Comics video. And if you haven't checked out my Sounds of Horror one yet, I spent a lot of time working on that one last night, so please check that out. I will see you soon right here. Have a wonderful day. Have a wonderful evening. And here in the Cult of Cinema, remember one important thing. Heidi ho, you've always got a friend for life here. Talk to you soon. Have a fantastic evening. Aaron in douche mode. There you go.